So firstly, introduce myself. I'm Charlotte Wanandea and I am the Head of Law at BPP, just down the road at Holborn. Do come and visit us. And just to find out a little bit about you, I guess it's a very mixed audience. So hands up who is still at undergrad level. Great. Remember this date, November the 7th, or the first Friday in November, I should say. Okay. Hands up who is currently at bar school. Similar number. Hands up who has completed bar school and doing pupillage round. Yeah, so fairly equal actually. And for those of you at undergrad or even at bar school, it is very, very, very usual, as we've seen by the show of hands, for people doing a round of pupillage now, having finished bar school. That is very, very usual. Okay, don't go thinking it has to be done in any particular order. Okay, great. So I know a little bit who's in here. You know who I am. And come and see us, I should say, in case I forget to see it at the end. I'm at stall 1 and will be all day. That is, as soon as you go into the great hall, the first stand on the left, very good spot. Before you kind of get in, we're sort of elevated. Can't think why. We are the partners. We are the sole partners. Yes. So VIP, I think. It all makes sense now. Right, okay. It is how to land a pupillage. I think somewhere in the brochure it might have said how to, I don't even want to think what it said, but how to land a pupillage, that is the ultimate goal, okay? So let's do this. Glad to see some of you've got notebooks. That is the first rule. If I have any advice to give you, the best advice, it is to get a nice notebook, ideally in moleskin or something rather glorious. Doesn't have to be, that's perfect. And you're going to need a whole, I'd say 2, 3, 4 of them, because every event you go to like this, you should be making notes. All the talks you're going to come to today, make notes. All the chambers you investigate online, make notes. Notes, notes, research, research, research. There is no special tablet, unlike the jabs, that you can take for a quick fix. This is the, you know, you've got to put the work in to do your research. Nobody is going to tell you a quick fix for this. And the only way is to research yourselves, be curious. What a great quality. And that's what that your future chambers is looking for, be curious. There's a good one straight away. And in the notebook it goes, you will have everything you need then when you flick through. You can't be doing, so those of you still at undergrad, I don't know what year you're in, first, second, third, but there is no, it's never too early to start getting that notebook filled, right? Notebooks, plural. Good. Probably the most important thing I've said today. Right, okay, let's have a reality check. It says health warning on there, I'm going to say reality check. So we need the reality check, we need to look at these stats because we need to understand why you need to make yourself stand out. And the wonderful bit about this is nobody else is you. So what you're going to sell is you. How wonderful. So no one else is you. Don't try to be someone else. You're just going to be selling you at these interviews and through the application process. Let's look at the latest stats we've got. I know it says 23, 24, but that's actually the latest data collection, of course, because we're not yet at the next ones to have got it all crunched. So yes, competition is fierce. Let's just take a look at some of this. So 23, 24, 671 pupillages were offered. Roughly how many people are applying? Well, you can see nearly 2,500 are enrolled on courses. So this is quite useful just to see what the competition's like. Yes, some students return overseas, so it kind of takes them out of the market you're chasing. And some chambers typically, you can see this bullet, have 250 applicants. So, for example, I know that 11 KBW last year had about 250 plus applications, and they were offering how many places for pupillage? Guess? 4, double that, not bad. So 4 places. Yeah, you see how intense it is. Here's, it's here. the reason I said 7th of November, those of you that are still undergrad, then it's this, and you're going to bar school next year, you need to be aware and put it in your diaries right now. The deadline to apply for an Inns of Court scholarship is the 7th of November. I say the 7th of November, that was this year's date. So it's the first Friday in November. And if you miss that, it's going to mess everything up. So that is really important. Okay, so stick that in your diaries already, those to whom that applies. That will be the first Friday of November 2026. Okay, so to stand out, what do we need to do? First step is the application, isn't it? The written application. So we need to build a persuasive CV. We're going to have 2 slides on this, so let's take it bit by bit. First of all, so how can we enhance our CV? I've got lots of tips for you here. First of all, you've got the qualifying sessions. Do you all know what that is? Give me a nod. Yeah, you all have to belong to an inn. Those of you who are not yet at bar school, that's the first thing. 4 inns, we're at one of them. Very glorious. Look at the surroundings. And they're all pretty much like this, as spectacular. So look at the differences. There aren't many. The thing that would guide me, if I were in your position, is what is their scholarship process and what's the deal for the scholarships. Most of them are similar-ish, but some of them will interview every applicant for a scholarship, rather than doing a paper sift and shoving it in the bin. So if you think you're going to excel orally, you want to apply to an inn that is going to, talk about the inns for the moment, the inn that is going to interview you. Okay, so those qualifying sessions run by your inn, whichever inn you belong to, this is you beginning to further your knowledge. Okay, so how can you do that? The inns are fabulous, so they offer all sorts of things. They offer training weekends. Some of you may have heard of things like Cumberland Lodge. So they are fabulous. They offer skills-based workshops, they offer lectures, they offer dinners, and to me that is building your knowledge as well as what? What do we do, especially at the dinners? What are you going to do? Network. Loads of people hate that word. Networking simply means meeting and talking to people, right? Really important. Follow up. Do you want to go for a coffee? What's the worst that can happen? They're going to say no. So what? Okay? Follow up. Ask your inn if it's possible to have a sponsor or a mentor. So a practicing barrister who's able to provide practical advice, can look over your application, that sort of thing, steer you through, help you understand life at the bar. Work experience, of course, vacation schemes, mini pupillages, they get that all going on your CV. You don't need 15 mini pupillages, 3, 4, and then be ready to talk about it. We'll get to that in a moment. Pro bono, I've said opportunities at BPP because I am here for BPP, but wherever you're doing your bar course, then they will have, I hope, what is called pro bono. We call it social impact at BPP because we've got much wider projects just than pro bono too. But that is crucial, I would say. And through free representation unit as well. All sorts of things. Don't forget all your non-legal stuff. That is really valid too. What am I going to say? What are those skills? They are soft skills. Transferable. Absolutely, transferable. So don't undermine that. If you've been working, I don't know, sweeping up the hair in the hairdresser since you were 13, you have got strong work ethic. You turned up to work, you're organised. That is crucial, and you show a pattern of that. That's who I want in my chambers, okay? Right, let's build this CV up a bit more. What else can we do? Mooting, of course. Debating, if you haven't managed to do any mooting yet. So undergrads, I don't know, I keep looking over here because some of you put your hands up over there. Undergrads, you will have a debating society. Get involved. Undergrads, are you in your law society? Is there a bar society? You need to get involved. Be on the committee. That's a game changer. So get involved with this stuff. It shows commitment to the bar, right? And get that on your CV. Pupillage events, pupillage fairs such as this one. And again, networking. You're going to go out and talk to all these chambers now. It's fabulous. Go to court. Simple, but superb. Chambers that you're interested in, try and follow the barristers who are going to be in court, and you will have a personal account of what you saw them doing, which is far better and impactful in your interview than generic stuff that everyone has read on the website. Okay, you've got to go deeper than that. Careers assistants at BPP. Any BPPers here? Oh, hello. We call it BPP Futures. Your provider will call it something else, or undergrads. Make sure you start using your careers assistants too. Check over CVs, do mock interviews with you, etc. Next slide, very important. So let's take this one step by step. So applying for pupillage. Who's already signed up onto the gateway? So as in doing it this round. Hands up, nice and high. Yeah, good number of you, great. So for you, the first bit, I hope you're thinking, yeah, tick, done that, tick, done that. For those of you not yet, who are doing it next year or maybe in a couple of years even, then you need to be aware of how the whole process goes. So you've got the website there, the link. First step is set up your gateway account. I would say do this as soon as possible. So obviously for those of you in the system right now, that's already been and you've done that. Because you can get yourself familiar with the gateway. Set up your applicant accounts. What you can do at that point is, as I say, familiarise yourself, very important, but you can even begin uploading your information relating to your academic work and your work history. So you can get that bit done, okay? Second step, November. So autumn term, November, right now. Advertisements, so applicants can access now the gateway and they can begin to browse the vacancies. Big moment. Step 3, so that's crucial, this November, December period. Really get familiar with it, start looking at the adverts. Step 3, January, just around the corner. Applications open, big moment. Submissions window opens, and now you applicants can start your application. You can edit your application and you can submit your application. Chambers who use the gateway can't yet see what you put in, so that's why I use the word edit. So you can get going with it, you can pop back in, it doesn't matter, they haven't seen it. You can just do a rough draft, no one's looking at it, that's fine. So that's January. Fourthly, February. Applications are going to close, check the exact date, and now you can't do anything further. That's it, you've submitted, it's gone. Then spring, by that I mean usually March or April, it's going to be first and second round interviews. So look out for, ideally, first and second round interviews. Don't forget all that good stuff about resilience. If you don't get any, it is okay, you go again. Okay, there's no issue with that, it's fine, you just go again the following year. So spring, we're talking, and now we're up to May, offers are made. Chambers are going to make their offers either through the gateway system, by phone or online. And it's like magic, it is all on exactly the same day for everyone who is fortunate enough to get an interview, the same day and exactly the same time. Big moment. Then you want to check, of course, the date to accept your offer, your initial offer, and it's a 7-day window. So up to the 7 days, you don't have to accept the first day, you might have 2 offers. So you've got to weigh that up, you've got 7 days to do it, but do not miss the deadline. If you miss the deadline, day 8, then that Chambers, of course, can put out to their reserve. You snooze, you lose. And then most Chambers will offer you a pupillage with a view to starting that following autumn. Some it will be later though, okay, the following year. Happy with the process? Okay, great. Next, let's think what we need to display. What do you think they're looking for?
Resilience.
Good one. How are you going to demo that?
You've gone through a lot of sacrifice to get to where you want to go.
Yeah.
So whether that be prioritising work experience and cancelling family matters, things like that,
So we need to be clear what resilience is what I'm getting at. So any sort of setback that you've managed to take yourself forward again from, right? Anything, and you will have your own story. Most of us have had to build up resilience. Good one. Anything else you think Chambers might be looking for? Yes? Experience. Shout out.
Advocacy potential.
Advocacy potential, very good.
I was going to say something different that just stands out, like you haven't worked in law, you've worked
Yeah.
in tech or something.
Yes, and that is something I'm really fierce on, because it's what I said before. Your prior experience of transferable stuff is really important. And I repeat, it's you, you're selling you. Don't try and be someone else. Okay, obviously intellectual ability as well. So let's take a look. This is not exhaustive. Oh, this is where I've got to keep pressing. Of course, intellectual ability. Yeah, you could have said that one. Analytical skills. Attention to detail. Thinking and communicating under pressure. Articulate in written and spoken English. I'm going to pause because what I want you to think about is if you are offered a first round interview, in that tiny 15-minute window, they're not long, you've got to, in the back of your head, think, I've got to press each of these, I don't know how many I'm going to put up, 5, 10, 15, I think. 15 things that we think are the top things they're looking for. Obviously, this list isn't exhaustive, but kind of make sure before that 15 minutes is up that you have demoed, evidenced as many of these as possible. Then you're going to probably get a second round. Happy days, right? So we're happy with the first row, and we all agree, don't we? So you've got to think of examples and how you can demonstrate that. Some of it's just going to happen because you're answering questions, so they'll hear that you're articulate and you've done a good application. They will see your written language is good. Determination, I'm going to put that in with resilience if it doesn't pop up. That's similar thing. Oh, come on, something everyone goes on about. This will depend on which chambers, but I'd say regardless, even if you're going for a criminal or family set, ta-da, commercial awareness. A chambers is a business. You've got to have commercial awareness. Come on, guys, you could have told me all of these. Organisational skills. And that, I come back to previous work you've done. You know, you've had to show up to work. You held that job down when others didn't.
Being outgoing.
Being outgoing, did you say?
Yeah, I think it's your next one.
Yeah, I'm saying keen to undertake responsibility. So somehow you're going to demo that. You know, you're not afraid to take on responsibility. They need you not just to be able to work alone well, but to, crucial first round.
Teamwork.
Work as a team, work with others, absolutely. So what I'm always saying to students is you need to demonstrate ability to work alone, because a lot of it you will be working alone, but also gel in the team and work well in a team. Loads to say about that. Good time management. Oh, it's my friend's favourite one. I said we'll put it under determination, but it's got its own circle. Resilience. Legal experience, of course, that's your mini pupillages. You might have worked in a law firm. Be clear to say why you've now been swayed towards the bar. Achievements in life and maybe other transferable work you've done. And I'm going to say my absolute favourite. Interests, yeah, because this would fit into what I'm going to put up. Enthusiasm, absolutely key. They're not going to take someone who's appearing, which not that you would, but you need enthusiasm. Ultimately, pick me, you know, that's what you're aiming for. Okay, happy with that? And you could add to the list, but I think this is fairly comprehensive. Oh, sorry, I didn't press enthusiasm. Look. Okay, next. Now you're wishing you were all at BPP, aren't you? Pupillage interviews, usually, well, not usually, always 2 rounds. So first round, typically, that's what I was going to say, 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, not long at all. And pupillage interviews can feel mysterious, they can feel daunting, they can feel intimidating. You're not sure what to expect. There is no typical set rule So they differ from chambers to chambers, but typically they're separated first and second round. It's hard to think of a chambers that doesn't do that. So let's talk about first round, first of all, very briefly. As I've said, quite short, as short as 15 minutes. What are they interested in primarily here? Well, I would say 3 key things, and someone said one of them before. I'd say they're interested in commitment. They're interested in suitability. I could also say brackets, will you fit with them? And thirdly, could you be a good advocate? Okay? They'll probably, well, will ask you about your application. You need to know that like the back of your hand. Which is the back of the hand? I guess it's this. I don't really know my hand that well. I'd say know it better than the back of your hand. Okay, you need to know it inside out. Let's settle for that. They might ask you to do a short written or oral piece of advocacy. Typically, if you are asked to do that, so be prepared on the hoof, bail application or plea and mitigation. Okay, but usually it's to find out who you are, and as I say, commitment, suitability, could you be a good advocate? Second round, if you make it through to second round, you can be pretty sure this is a sort of, yay, they like me, they think I'm going to be a good advocate, they think I'd be suitable, they think that I'm committed. So a lot of the shortlisting is done now, and they like what they've seen. It's good. However, of course, second round, whilst there are fewer of you, everybody is going to be brilliant, right? This is now la crème de la crème, okay? So it's smaller, but really, really top-notch. All of you are going to be high quality. So here the interview is going to be far more in-depth, typically an hour, if not more. Wow, okay? And they're going to test you on much more complex matters now, and to see how you think. We'll talk about that in more depth in a minute. You might also have some further oral advocacy to do. That's pretty usual. Happy with that? That's an intro. Now we're going to dive deeper into round 1. And I'm focusing here, firstly, on this slide, on preparation. It's all there, so we can speed up. We've only got 5 minutes left. Preparation. How can I prepare? Mock interviews, of course. Ideally with your uni or your bar provider, or even your friend or your mentor, somebody like that, okay? As I say, 15 minutes. What are they looking for here? Competency, knowledge, motivation. We'll look at some questions in a minute. So get thinking ahead. What are they likely to ask me on competency, on knowledge, on motivation? They might set you a problem question. Know your audience. Research the chambers. I think I've made this point. No good just looking at the website. Everyone's going to do that. Got to go deeper than that. Look at the profiles of the recent tenants. Have you been to see them in court? What do you know about them? What work have they done? What cases have they worked on? Right? That's next level stuff. I want to get a second round. Look at the work they've carried out. Okay? So that's the prep bit. We're not yet in the interview. Now I'm all confident as I walk into that interview. I'm playing my favourite tune in my head. It works, by the way. Makes your shoulders go back and gives you a bit of confidence. Obviously, don't play it out loud. This is rolling in your head. And in you go. It works for exams as well. Right, here we are. So we said motivational questions. That's things like, and you can have this ready prepared, but why, e.g. the bar, why this practice area, why this chambers, why you? You know that. Competency. This is the stuff of give us an example when you have whatever, and we've done one example here, had to work hard to convince others to your way of thinking, okay? But it could be anything. Give us an example of when, ... Debate, topical questions, e.g., this is just an example, should pupillage be compulsory to be called a barrister? Do you think it's time for the cab rank rule to be reformed? These are just examples, could be anything. What's topical? Legal problems, oh yeah, even in round 1. Maybe not, but be prepared. Advocacy, fictional set of facts, associated legal issues. Curveball, you know those weird ones like who would you have to the dinner party? Scenario-based, ethics questions, ethics. Okay, know the core duties like the back of your hand or inside out, and be familiar with the BSB handbook. Are you? Yes, surely. Right, next, round 2, preparation first. So again, prepare, prepare, prepare. That's dreadful cliche. Fail to prepare, prepare to fail. I'm afraid it's true. So don't forget they're not all the same, but here's some broad truths. 2 methods broadly. Method 1, I would call it unseen. So you have to rock up on the day with that motivational tune playing in your head, and you're given a brief on the spot, and you're sent to a little area where you need to prepare it there and then. Or another method is seen. In other words, they give it to you in advance, so you can think about it and walk in with that tune playing much more confident, okay? Try and establish in advance which method they're going to use, okay, so that you are prepared to be prepared. Next, we are in the interview, and here we need to, what are we going to do? Here you go, really important, succinct and helpful. I would say a mantra, succinct, or rather comprehensive but succinct. There's an art to that. And helpful, helpful. Help them to help you by picking you, right? Pick me. Remember to justify your answers, support it. You can see there, evidence, statute, case law, common sense, common sense. As part of your planning, always have a structure, a framework. So think structure, structure, structure with your answers. You know, first, I would say, second, third, all that stuff. Listen. Wow, I've really underlined this several times in green here. Big green felt tip. Listen. Another cliche. We've got 2 of these, 1 of these. There's a reason for that. Listen to what your audience is, what they're saying. Are they, and when they're playing a role, which role are they playing? Don't forget which role each one is playing, and answer comprehensively. Remember, comprehensive but succinct and helpful. Right, ethics, 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 ethics. Ethics are everywhere. Yes, you're going to sit the ethics exam set by the BSB, but your chambers want you to be geared up to this. So you need to spot, they will inevitably, in first or second round, drop in an ethics question. You need to be aware. They won't go, we're going to ask you an ethics question now. So you need to be able to spot it, comment on it, be aware of it. So swat up, brush up on your conduct. Well, it says here the night before. I'd say way before. I think... Oh, on my watch it says 1 minute, but that's okay. Look, that gives you time to grab this QR code. Doesn't matter if you're not BPP, you're from someone else, that's fine. And certainly, my dear undergrads, you need to get into the habit. What have we got on here? We've got events for prospective barristers. You're all here for the bar, throughout the academic year to help you develop your skills. Someone said skills, soft skills at the back, all sorts of skills for the legal profession. All our events are listed on our website. You grab the QR code. 2026, we've done it to the end of December, and we're in mid-November now, but rest assured, as soon as January kicks in, I'm already booked in for loads of them throughout the whole of 26. So there will be event after event. We have at least 1 a week, at least. Things like cross-examination, things like alibi busting, things like, you name it, the list goes on. You need to be at those. What am I going to remind you about? Notebook, notebook, notebook. Make a note, research. I say you should be spending at least... Now, I'm going to say, let's not say at least, 2-3 hours a week. So those of you who are busy studying, you've got all your modules from university or your bar, but you also have a module from me, which is researching the bar, researching getting a pupillage. And that is going to take you 2 to 3 hours a week. If you do that religiously, over the time you have left, whatever that time is, you will be successful. You will be, I assure you. If you're trying to do it at the last minute, it ain't going to happen, okay? So one part of your 2 to 3 hours a week would be coming to these. The one I would highly recommend, have we got another slide? Oh yeah, 3rd of December. It's coming up soon, 5 o'clock, it's online, stay in your pyjamas, whatever. We won't see you, but be there with those notebooks, make a note, and you can find out lots of stuff. I'd say that's more for our, where are the undergrads again? You guys absolutely should come to this, because we'll show you how we do things, okay, and give you loads of tips. And voila, next it's Jackie Street. Do I leave Jackie Street on? Yeah. Did you all get the QR code? Yeah. So let's leave Jackie on. Right.
Can we give a clap?
Oh, lovely.